born with the devil in me. I could not help the fact that I was a murderer, any more than the poet can help the inspiration to sing. I was born with the evil one standing beside my bed as my sponsor as I was ushered into the world, and he remains with me still.
Serial killer H.H. Holmes.
Growing up, I had an acute fear of being followed up the stairs. Not all stairs, though. I grew up in a really old house in Massachusetts, and this one particular staircase started in the basement and continued up to the second floor. It was the back staircase, and it led to my bedroom. Anytime anyone was coming up those stairs behind me, even in broad daylight, I would become irrationally scared that they were going to catch up to me and do something. My adrenaline would kick in, and I would speed up and run, convinced that there was a monster behind me. And it was even worse when there was no one behind me. Especially at night, when I would go up to bed, I would need to turn the downstairs hall light off first and begin to climb in the pitch black. But as I moved up, despite knowing that there was nothing behind me, my heart would begin to race, and I would speed up as fast as I could in the total darkness and run from the invisible monster until I reached the top of the stairs where I could turn the upstairs hall light on. And then, without looking back, I would reach through my bedroom door, turn my lamp on, reach back out into the hall and turn that light off, and then close the door in the sanctuary of my bedroom. Monsters eluded. Safe once more.
Okay, when I was little, I was afraid of everything. Giants, tornadoes, mascots, aliens, volcanoes, the dark, you name it. So my mom would stay up and watch TV, or my dad would read to me until I fell asleep. I'd always somehow find my way back into their bedroom in the middle of the night anyway. Sure, there was something outside my window waiting to kill me, usually aliens. I used to have really intense dreams about those fears. I've always been a vivid dreamer, after all. Once I dreamt that a serial killer had caught me, hung me up, and was cutting me to pieces, one joint at a time. I remember how he kept me alive and awake, how in my dream world, I was not only being cut to pieces, but I was watching it happen at the same time. I watched as the blood pooled beneath me. Those images have stuck with me to this day. I was 7 when I had that dream. I didn't even know what a serial killer was, or what a murderer could do.
I was hit by a car when I was a kid. I should probably clarify and say that I was involved in a bicycle on automobile collision. You see, what happened was, oblivious 7-year-old me was riding his bike in the middle of the road, pulled the UE and ran straight into the front end of a lady's car. As I remember it, however, I was riding my bike, minding my own business, when I turn and suddenly I'm face to face with a bumper. I hit the ground, look back up. Now there's a tire in front of my face. I close my eyes, waiting for pain, and other than the burning sensation of a scraped knee, nothing happens. Open my eyes, tire's in the same spot it was before. Disaster averted! Yeah, my dad, he comes running out of the house, certain I'd been involved in some sort of vehicular malarkey. I guess these things just happen. You know, I learned my lesson. I learned to be thankful that something like this would never happen again. Flash forward 20 years later. I'm riding my motorcycle on the 10 East. It's dark, it's raining. My tires are probably due for a change. Suddenly, a car just materializes out of the darkness, cuts across my lane, 2 more besides. I slam on the brake but lock up the rear wheel. I go down. Now, I've gone down before. It doesn't feel good. It's usually preceded by a brief moment of grim anticipation, followed by a painful and bumpy conclusion. But this time, I go down, I slide, and I just keep on sliding. I was on a concrete slip and slide, traveling 40 miles per hour on my back, with who knows how many cars and trucks barreling towards me in the darkness. I'm closing my eyes, trying not to picture crushing tires. Finally, I'm able to get my feet beneath me, and then I turn to glare at the oncoming headlights and challenge. Relief. The cars, they saw what happened, they stopped, I was fine. Never mind the bruises. But I can't get over that fear. That fear that promises pain and perhaps death. But not yet.
When I was a kid, I was super fast. Like with the right training, potential Olympian fast. I was always zipping through, closing doors and stuff. And I remember, there was this gate at my grandparents' apartment complex that was so slow. One day, my grandpa and I were meeting my mom and grandma on the street to bring in the groceries. Now, it's not like there's no other door that a person couldn't go through other than the gate, but I saw the gate closing and I decided to make a run for it. I don't know why, I was just a kid and I felt like running, so I did. But then everything went horribly wrong very quickly. I heard my mom scream, and then I saw an orange roll past my foot, and I looked back to see my grandfather on the floor with the gate closing behind him. I was fast enough and ran through, but my elderly grandfather with rheumatoid arthritis wasn't quite as quick, so it closed on him. I don't remember anything after that moment. I don't know if he went to the hospital or if the ambulance took him away, but I do remember the way I felt. Crushed.
Ted, you're it! I shrieked as I headed for the back door, giggling hysterically as I ran away from my brother. It was a dry heat, the kind that makes little children go absolutely berserk. As I enter the backyard, the sound of my bare feet clapping against the pavement can faintly be heard over my loud exhales and shrieks. Then suddenly, I see him. My brother's small face peers out from the back door, a menacing smile slowly forming. As he breaks away from the back door, I run away as fast as I can. Faster and faster, I run out towards the pool, and just as I'm rounding the corner of the yard, splash! The water now engulfing me erupts in my eardrums. The cold water sent an icy chill up my spine. I had fallen in head first, which now left me very disoriented as to which way was up and which way was down. I was 5 years old, and I couldn't swim. My eyes remained wide open the entire time, despite the sting of chlorine. Everything was pale blue, and bubbles swarmed around me. My breath escaped me. I had none left. Panicking, I inhale a deep gulp of water, and in jeering pain begin to choke and cough. The water was in my nose now. It felt as though my eyes were pressing to escape from their eye sockets. Death did not cross my mind. I hadn't yet grasped that concept yet. I only became afraid that I was going to be stuck underneath the surface of the cold, stinging water forever. Everything seemed to occur in slow motion, as though my arms were separate beings from my body. Just as I brushed the surface at the bottom of the pool, I feel myself being lifted. My dad had rushed to dive in after me. His hands felt so warm and strong. The next few hours were a blur, as though I was still seeing the world through the pale blue water, suspended in time, moving neither slow nor fast. Sitting on the couch now, watching The Fox and the Hound, I couldn't help but feel a little older, as strange as that may have been for a 5-year-old. I felt as if I had now aged, and I had a slight understanding of something much bigger than myself.